What's going on, everybody? Bugashuichi back here again, bringing you some more of that absolute delicious Lost Odyssey gameplay. So we are going to continue on. We're just going to have ourselves a nice, fun time as we discover more about this wonderful, wonderful game. Alright, so last we were on the boat. Now we're trying to get off the boat. And we can't access that just yet. So let's continue on going. We have a couple items to pick up. Alright, so once again we play our Metal Gear Solid. Good sauce. Okay.
Look, it's him.
Oh, did you all get put in there?
Yeah. So that's basically just going to happen. Every single time that we get captured, it's going to lock us back. There are items that we want. So we may get captured a couple times.
I am so sorry you have to keep doing that.
There you go.
You've been a great pal. Hey, let's get a drink later.
Take care.
Speaking of drinks, there will be drinking later tonight with Final Fantasy. I'm looking forward to that. Trying to get the gladiator up. There's a little mouse. Look at the little mouse. That's past one. If memory serves me correctly, this is the last time that we do this whole playthrough style Metal Gear Solid. Look at it. Kick it. Yes, let's go. And let's collect stuff. Where is it? There we go. And this should be our paralyze spell. Very nice. This is actually really going to help going forward. Gotta open the shutter. That helps, I guess. So now we've learned about the trap. See, it just throws like weird stuff. that's how we avoid those soldiers. Oh, just kidding, we have to go that way. This is just a shortcut that unlocked. Alright, so there's one guard. Very convenient that he's sleeping. They must work these guys super hard. Okay, that's done. And now we want an item up here. We're going to start collecting more and more items because they're going to be a lot more helpful later on. We have our slot seed. We'll save this. Okay, now we got to open this door. Aha, they tried to trick us, but we were smarter. I'm cautiously walking just in case these guys can hear the sounds of the crates. Awesome. Okay, good to know that it can't see that far. It must be short-sighted. So the slot seed and the paralyzed are the only two items that are here. So in our next section, we should have about 2 more items to get.
Hey, what's the matter?
I know I keep saying this, and I know I said this earlier, but your memories are returning. Aren't they?
Maybe.
You hate them so much. What's your problem?
Ever since we stopped the magic energy leaking from Grand Staff, you get that look sometimes. Did you get exposed back there?
Got no use for the past.
Kime! Don't say things like that.
It's none of your business.
Hey, great. Yeah. Maybe I was just a little too quick to throw that black pearl. Golly, I gotta lighten up. I'm just way too tense. I need to get back to those 3 girls.
Always great to have our weapons.
Oh yeah! Let's get it on!
These guys are pretty basic. If we wanted to, we could paralyze one, but we don't want to do that. Let's set them on fire. Fire is always a good go-to. Let the world burn. Alright. So during our little cutscene, we saw an item back here. Healing potion, very nice.
Let's take him down.
Actually, I don't mind fighting. Oh, now we can actually fight these things good. So they're mechanical. Let's see, do I have kind of any electricity spell? No, I don't. Alright, let's see what water does. They have low health, which means they probably have some good defense. Or not. Oh, why you guys sound the alarm? We should probably keep cat in. Oh. So that guy's probably going to keep sounding alarms, but I'll just have my boy Jansen here keep taking care of it. We'll take care of everything up front. Very nice. Ooh. Guys hit pretty hard. Oh, so when you attack it, the GC goes up. I'm just now noticing that. Alright, so if you attack, off her defend to require it, or to get back a little bit of health. Okay, so... 66. Actually, what I can do... No, I'll still have him attack it. Nice. Alrighty. Now we're talking. Let's go ahead and wipe these guys out. Flare. I mean, why not? They're fast. What's that? Stone too? Ooh. I do not like that. Alright, good. Battle ended. Oh, they gave us some very nice XP too as well. And And I have learned anti-paralyze. Very good. So let's go ahead and switch out our equipment because we definitely want Seth to learn that. Now let's see. Flee. Immunity to poison is another good one that we'll definitely want to have. Let's see, which one was it? There it is. Our save point? Yes, we would definitely like to save. I want to go down. There we go. It's weird because this game switches from sometimes letting you use the joystick and the D-pad to move stuff to just the joystick.
Shh. What's that? You hear that?
What? Jensen!
That's a harp. Yeah. Queen must be in there, right? I mean, no dude plays a harp. Yeah.
Queen?
Ignore it. It'll lead to trouble.
Hey, I've got a sixth sense about these things. The Queen's got to be hot. I didn't pay my respects. I mean, I'd have to turn in my man card. Time to work my magic.
Ah, idiot. What are you trying to pull, Jensen? Open up!
It's no use.
Oh, that moron.
Do you know anything about the Queen?
Well, from a long time ago. If nothing's changed since then, she's definitely someone I know.
Looks like your own memories are returning. So you're not afraid of the past.
No, I like the past. It's thanks to the past that I'm here now, right? If memory serves me correctly. She's someone from the past who made me who I am now. She smiled when she held out her hand to me, even when stranded in the middle of the ocean, faced by me, a pirate. She wouldn't show any fear. I felt a certain kind of strength and a special kindness from her. The Queen could have arrested me for piracy, but instead she invited me to her palace. We talked about a lot of things. It was a huge surprise to find someone in such a high station who was so open-minded. No, she wasn't just open-minded. Even though we'd just met, it felt like we'd known each other for years. Our talk seemed full of nostalgia. I laughed for the first time in a long time. I don't know if she felt the same way, but at any rate, she seemed fascinated by everything I said. Treasure hunting in the Great Eastern Ruins, beating the crap out of pirates who stepped out of line. I covered it all. Tell me about your life. But when I look back at the way she let me keep talking, I think she might have longed to be free, just for a moment. Here, take this. Scoring a queen's pendant without a fight. I must be really lucky today.
No, I'm only lending it to you. The next time we meet, I want it back.
Ooh, can't pass up a chance like this. Sorry, gang.
Get him, Jansen.
wait, Your Highness, please. I'm not dangerous. I swear. Whew, thank you so much. Please, just don't call the guards yet.
Who are you?
I beg your forgiveness, Your Highness, for the sudden intrusion. Jansen Freed, at your service. I am but a simple fool, drawn here by your lovely harp song.
The White Boa is ordained away. Where did you come from?
Any man who heard such an enchanting melody would grow wings and fly to meet you. Land or sea, just as long as he found you. Like this. I would very much like to know your name, Your Highness.
Ming. Ming Numara.
Such a lovely name. And I've finally gotten to see you smile. Please, feel free to laugh at this simple fool. Just seeing your smile has made it worth risking your wrath at my uninvited presence.
Is something the matter?
Forgive my impertinence, but even though your smile shines bright, Your Highness, I also see loneliness. Your harp song you were playing earlier feels the same. It's as if it reflects your own heart.
My heart?
When you play, the melody radiates kindness and warmth. But sometimes it sinks into sorrow. That sorrow is what drove me to you and sparked a desire to smooth it away.
What is that?
I shall heal your sorrow. Please, trust me. If you remain here, your heart will only be stained with more sorrow.
My heart. Stained with sorrow. Jansen, why did you really come?
What a woman! Great. Just great.
I mean, come on. You didn't really think that he had good intentions, do you?
What was that?
To Her Majesty's room! Hurry! This way! You again? Ugh.
Crap, Jansen, you idiot.
Like how the queen's just like gone, disappeared.
What are you doing here? Planning to kidnap the queen?
Hello, General?
Oh, man.
I see you're at least smart enough not to resist. Take them away.
Yes.
You men, follow me to Her Majesty's room.
Understood.
Your Highness, it's General Kakanis. I heard a loud noise just now. Are you all right? Your Highness, please open the door! It's no good, sir. It won't open. Bridge, open the door to Her Majesty's room immediately. This is an emergency. That's strange. It doesn't open. Idiots! You open the emergency hatch! Ah!
It's kind of messed up that they make you play as him to get away. Instead of doing it like a cutscene or something, but I guess it's just a product of its time. Ancient room. Nothing special here. Except for fights. Definitely fights.
Oh yeah! Let's get it on!
Whew. Where's he? Oh, I can't see anything about him.
Oh, that was easy!
That's not fun. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to heal him. Let's see, how much does a mana herb get? Ah, sweet. Oh no, wait, that was mana herb. No, that's not what I want. There we go. I hate wasting my stuff.
Well, I guess it's as good as any place. Hey there, little guy. You lost? You're not chasing me too, are ya? Whoa! Whew. Close one.
You're quite kind, aren't you?
Ah, you're awake, Your Highness. What? Okay, this isn't funny. I need to get out
You
of this.
know, I was never really asleep.
Huh?
I couldn't judge your true intentions, so I tested you. I sincerely apologize.
Well, then do something about this, okay? Would
Not
ya?
just now. I am the queen, and I cannot just simply run away with you.
But that Kakanas bastard is taking advantage of you. You can't be comfortable surrounded by these lunkheads, can ya?
Even so, I will not forsake my duties. Your feet will be fine. Just remain here for a little while. Nothing higher will turn to stone.
Gee, thanks for considering my, higher parts.
You finally sound more like yourself.
Huh?
Such insincerity reflects poorly on your true self.
Whew! All that formal speech stuff is making my shoulders stiff anyway. But I'm fired up now, my queen. When I get out of this, I'll prove my sincerity to your heart's content. Oh yeah, you can bet on it.
Your Majesty!
Ah, crap. Oh, this is so unfair.
Have you been harmed?
Testosterone boy. Oh, man. Golly.
together in this place all our dreams, all our hopes, and all our dedication. We shall not avert our eyes from our shadowed reflection in still water, nor succumb to apathy. Numata exists so that power may coexist in harmony with peace and tranquility. To show how our power can sow peace, I now release these visitors to our fair city. They have been prisoners. I now declare them free.
Well, it's about time. You? Ah, yeah.
Travelers, you are free to go.
Ming!
Ming?
Travelers! Thanks to Her Royal Majesty's leniency, you are now free to go. Now, move along! Royal Guards, dismissed!
All that trouble to release us, and now they simply turn their backs.
Well, I say it's great. I mean, we're free, aren't we? Oh, and it's all thanks to Ming.
It bothers me that you speak so casually of the Queen. Is there something you're not telling us, Jansen? Did you do something to her?
Wait, come on.
Alright, so we have a lot to do in this city. There is a lot of items to get, as well as 2 dreams. So our first order of business is to leave. Alright, so we got our save point here. This is also a good place where we're going to get a couple of upgrades too as well. So we got about 2 more items here we need to get. We're a little bit behind on the seeds because we should have gotten a sword before, so that may end us hurting us in the end. But if I recall correctly, I think we actually get more seeds than we actually need. Because after a while, it just kind of stops giving you stuff. Oh no. We definitely want to help out this little girl, don't we? see. There's another one over here. One last item. And that's all the items from here. Here's the cat. Still can't pet the cat. Very disappointing. Because we can't pet the cat, this game is now a 0 out of 10. No cat petting.
You handled your role well.
So, my performance was acceptable?
Yes, Your Highness. We should now be able to achieve our objective. Let them loose and follow them to the truth.
And what will we gain from this exercise?
When we have proof they work for the enemy, we'll lock them up again. They'll give us excellent leverage in negotiations with Ura, and beyond the negotiations, we stand to gain information about Grandstaff.
Grandstaff?
Ura has built a gigantic magic engine called Grandstaff, and we suspect they're plotting something. Right now, Ura poses a terrible threat to the entire world.
A threat?
Our intel has confirmed that the tragedy at Wool Highlands is connected in some way to Grandstaff. If we continue to allow Ura to run rampant, that tragedy could be repeated again at any time. The authorities in our military have voted unanimously to seize Ura as a preventative measure.
You plan to start a war?
The White Boa is already being converted into a battle flagship, and we've begun assembling troops and arms. This action is for the sake of the entire world.
I won't allow it.
While your majesty may have other ideas, the people will surely approve these safety measures. In this present magic industrial revolution, your majesty's isolationist policy is pushing the nation to its limit.
National isolation promotes peace.
This new regime must be created for the sake of world peace. We shall spread your majesty's teachings using our nation's military might.
You think military force can avert violence?
Would you rather see a meteor fall on Numara? If that were to happen, the people who so adore you would be reduced to ashes in an instant. No, the Grandstaff should not be in the hands of those simple-minded fools in Ura. We Numarans should control it. Then we can use it to maintain peace all over the world. Numara would become the most powerful, peace-loving country in the world. War is inevitable, Your Majesty. Figureheads. They should just keep quiet, play their role, and smile. Someone get in here, now!
Peace by violence. It makes absolute sense to me. 100%. Alright. So we've got an item. Another seed. Very good. Excuse me guys, I just you guys don't mind me getting these items, right? 10G. Alright. Here somewhere. Oh, I need to get a clue to get a treasure hunting clue. Okay. So we'll come back later for that item then. There's one here. There we go. Hey, what are Makotes doing in this game? Sure. Well, that was certainly fun. It's just your traditional inn. But we want loot. Can we go? Yes. There we go. Thought something else might have been in there. I actually don't have a map to this place for the loot, which is kind of weird that the guy didn't provide it. But I guess it figures that this place is pretty self-explanatory. We'll get to those pots in a bit. Free money's always good. I'm sure these people don't mind us. Hopefully that wasn't theirs, and if it was, well, that's just too bad. So I don't think I checked in this one. Nope. Let's see if there's anything over on this screen. Yes, there is. Alright, so now we're going to go to the main street. And here on the main street, oh boy, do we have a lot of items to get. We have a lot of items, we're going to meet some NPCs, and look, it's our favorite cat girl. I need that gondola. So I'm just gonna have to figure out how to get that from you. We're gonna be getting a lot of seeds here and a lot of slot seeds. But before we continue, we're going to have one of our dreams. The ramparts will fall to the enemy. It is just a matter of time. They will mount their attack at dawn. The main body of the Allied forces has already drawn far back from the front. Only the mercenaries are left behind the barricade. Their orders: defend it to the death. These men, who have gone from battlefield to battlefield, know exactly what that means. The Talkative Mercenary is the title of the stream. They've just left us here to die, chuckles the one called Toma in darkness too thick for a person to make out his own hand. They want us to buy time so the main force can pull farther back. We're supposed to be their shields, performing our final service for our employers. His dry, papery laugh shakes the darkness. Kime says nothing in reply. Other mercenaries must be gathered there around them in the blackness, but all keep their thoughts to themselves. Mercenaries have nothing to say to each other on the battlefield. They might be on opposite sides in the next battle. At a time like this, especially when they have to defend the barricade against the enemy's withering attack, they can't spare the time even to look at each other's faces. Kime knows nothing about this fighter called Toma. His voice sounds young. He probably has very little experience as a mercenary. If a man grows talkative in the face of death, it means that deep down somewhere he has a weakness that prevents him from becoming a true soldier. A mercenary with even a hint of such weakness can never cheat death and live to see another day. It is the law of the battlefield, and a man like Toma will only learn that law in the moment before he loses his life. We're done for. We'll all be dead in the morning. We'll have that silent homecoming they talk about. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. In the darkness, no voices rise to second these statements. It's too late for talk like this. The day they choose the mercenaries' path was when they should have resigned themselves to death. They sell their lives for a little money. They prolong their lives a day at a time by taking the lives one enemy after another. That's what a mercenary is. Nothing more, nothing less. Hey, can anybody hear me? How many of us are there? We're all going to die together. We'll just be a line of corpses in the morning. Don't shut up now. Answer me. No one says a thing. Instead, the voices, the silent darkness, begins to fill with a tangible sense of annoyance. Wordliness to gather on the battlefield. Wordlessly to fight the enemy, and just as wordlessly to die. That is the rule of the mercenary, the aesthetic of a mercenary, if such an expression may be permitted. But Toma has taken it upon himself to abandon that aesthetic. I knew it was hopelessness from the start. Headquarters didn't know what they were doing. There was no way a strategy like that could work. You know what I'm talking about, don't you guys? We had to lose. It's a total mess. I wish to hell I had joined the other side. Then we could have gotten a mountain of cash for winning. We could have drunk ourselves blind. We could have had all the women we wanted. I could have gone either way on this one, but I picked the wrong side to fight on. Hey you! A note of voice booms out of the darkness, an angry voice. Yeah, what? Answers Toma. His voice is more private. vibrant now at having at last found somebody willing to talk to him. As if to crush his momentary enthusiasm, the other man goes on. How about shutting up for a while? If you really want to run off at the mouth that much, I can send you to the next world a step ahead of the rest of us. I'm sorry. Instantly dejected, Toma falls silent, and the darkness goes still again. The stillness is charged, however, with a deep tension, far deeper even than before Toma started talking. The veteran warriors know. Watch out for talkative men. Being talkative means trusting in words. Trusting too much in words. Words are useless on the battlefield. You take your weapon in silence, you steel yourself in silence, you fight in silence, you kill the enemy, or he kills you in silence. All the mercenaries here have lived this way, all but the talkative one. A soldier who clings too desperately to words may cling just as desperately to something else, to the sweet trap of betrayal, for example, or the seduction of desertion under fire, or the lure of madness. Kaim has often seen pitiful mercenaries who, unable to endure the terror of being surrounded by the enemy, go berserk and attack men from their own side. Will Toma prove to be another such case? The possibility is great, and no doubt the other men are thinking the same thing too. In the stillness, they turn the same gazes towards Toma that they reserve for confrontations with the enemy, looking for any signs of change in his demeanor. The moment they perceive the slightest threat in him, a blade will soundlessly pierce the left side of his chest. The silence continues. Not even the usual all-night cries of insects can be heard tonight, as they were last night. Perhaps the insects knew enough to clear out in advance of the enemy's dawn attack. The thought reminds Kaim that he saw no birds in the area yesterday either. Although animals come to snatch food when the men first built this fortification, there has been no signs of them for several days now. Animals have mysterious powers of foreknowledge that humans have lost. This becomes painfully obvious from any visit to a battlefield. There can be little doubt that the animals have turned their back on this barricade. Right about now, in some distant forest, a huge flock of black birds may be taking wings in search of human corpses to strip of their flesh. It's feast time, boys. They already know. Somehow, once the sun is fully up, the battle will be over. If they don't get here first, they'll lose their feast to a flock from another forest, their black bodies hidden in the night sky, whose birds are now probably flying for all they're worth. A voice in the night, Tomo's voice, weeping. Listen, you guys, I know how many of you are out there, but we're all going to die in the morning, or most of us. Maybe one or two will live to escape, no more. Think about it. Those are lousy odds. You've all been through this before. You're veterans, war heroes. You're probably not scared, but even so, even if you're not scared, don't you think this is stupid? Huh? Tell me. You've been through a lot more battles than I have, so tell me, what the hell are we here for? We don't hate the enemy. We don't owe the leaders on our side anything. But we've got to kill the enemy and follow our leader's orders. And we're still going to end up dead. Tell me, you guys, don't you think it's pointless? Don't you think it's stupid? The only response to Toma is the impatient click of a tongue in the darkness, followed by someone else's sigh of annoyance. I can't take it any longer, says Toma. I hate this. And now he's sobbing. All I wanted was some money, maybe something better to eat, maybe nicer clothes. I would have been happy with that. What a mistake I made, taking work like this. I never should have done it. Kaim keeps all his sense open for movement in the night. Aside from himself and Toma, 5 other soldiers are crouching down in the darkness. Not bad. All are experienced warriors. They would not have been able to put up with Toma's whining otherwise. If they let themselves get angry and started shouting at him, or grabbing him by the throat, or wailing away at him, they would just end up consuming their strength and energy before their work started at dawn. If this is an assemblage of men who know how to keep their silence, the chances for life are that much greater, assuming, that is, that the talkative, weeping man does not become too great of a burden for the rest of them. Still sobbing, Toma continues to curse his fate. Suddenly, something's different. Something stirs in the silence. This could be bad, Kime thinks, sharpening his attentiveness still more. When dawn breaks, Toma will get in our way. Because of him, the possibility for life will wither. The mercenaries know that, and because they know it, they might do whatever it takes for them to secure themselves even the slightest added chance to live. I don't want to die here, I tell you. Not now. Not here. Like a worthless dog. You guys feel the same way too, don't you? Moonlight shines down from a rift in the clouds. For a split second, Toma's tear-stained face appears in the darkness. He's even younger than Kine imagined from the sound of his voice. He's practically a boy. The clouds hide the moon again, and thick, black darkness enfolds everything once more. A dull light stirs in the depth of darkness. Without a word, Kime darts, wind-like, towards it. He was able to gauge the distance between himself and Toma during the flash of moonlight. Kime grabbed Toma's arms. Something hard falls to the ground. The dull light flashes again, this time at their feet, and melts again into darkness. A knife. Driven by the fear of death, Toma's trying to slit his own throat. Toma twists away and tries to free his arm from Kime's grasp, but Kime chops him in the solar plexus. Without uttering a sound, Toma passes out. With Toma slung across his back, Kime strides through the darkness. Eventually Toma wakes and thrashes his legs to get loose. Stop it! Let me go! Kime lowers him to the ground. Every once in a while the moon comes out. Check your direction when that happens. Go straight towards the setting moon, Kime says gently. What the hell are you talking about? It's the only way you can get out of here. Kime has chosen the thinnest part of the enemy's encirclement. Of course, there's no guarantee that getting through here will save him. From now on, Toma will have to believe in his own luck and abilities. Are you coming too? Toma asks. No, I'm going back. You escape alone. Why? You come too. Let's both escape. Come with me. Toma clings to Kime's arm as he pleads with him, but Kime gives him a hard slap on the cheek. The flesh of that cheek is too soft to belong to a veteran warrior. It is the flesh of a boy, a kid. You're going alone. But why? To live. That's why. What about you? You want to live too, don't you? You should run away with me. You don't want to die, do you? Want to live. No. Kime has no great desire to live. He lives because there is nothing else he can do. He lives because he has to. Toma is far too young, his own burden of life too fragile, for him to know the pain of such a life. We live to fight. That's what mercenaries do. But get the hell out of here. You're ruining it for the rest of us. You guys will never win this battle, so why not run away? It's our job to fight. With that, Kime turns on his heels and starts back the way he came. Toma stands there, watching Kime move away, and a moment later, he himself darts into the western forest. To fight, or to flee? Kime cannot know which holds out the greater promise for life. He also believes it is better not to know. Except, I hope you make it, boy, he mutters, walking back. The eastern sky is beginning to brighten. From the western forest, a few birds take to the air. Perhaps it means that a small-scale battle has started in the silence, or the poor young mercenary has been felled with his back to the enemy. Kime does not look back or break his stride. He feels certain he has seen the talkative mercenary before. Before the war broke out, the boy was selling fruit in the market along the highway. He was a good boy, took good care of his mother, the women of the market were saying. Lives a long, full life. Kime wishes for the boy as he himself walks on, glaring at the eastern sky. Alright, so another one left up to interpretation. Did he live? Did he die? No, we don't really know. Don't think we're gonna get closer either. I'm sure there's loot in here, so we're gonna go back to loot. Another seed. Sure, we'll find one of those little rabbit things later. Oh. Okay. Oh. I want to give you my money anyways. Look at that. We found the dog. So we'll check back on her with that dog in a little bit. Maybe she'll reward us. Oh, hey. That guy's waiting for the other girl, I bet you. We should talk to him and tell him where she is. That way we can get on the gondolas and get that treasure. Because let's be honest, do we really care about them getting back together? No, we don't. We just want that sweet, sweet loot. Yes, more seeds. And we found her. Mana earrings, very nice. And look, you got something on your shelf too. We'll just keep reading this. What is this new product? That's it. Really doesn't tell you the rest here. Alright. What stuff do you have for me in here? Alright. Ah, poison. We missed poison somewhere. That sucks. Oh well. See, this is why you never have to worry about missing spells out in the open, because you always get to buy them the next one. Alright, so we definitely want to buy a couple of healing meds. I think 12's a good number. Alright, that should be good. Let's see here. What else should we get from this guy? Trying to prepare for any boss comes up, but I don't think we got a boss coming up for a very long time. This is mostly just collecting stuff. Alright, so let's go ahead and leave. Okay. Dude, I literally just came from there. Alright, so I gotta go back and around and then go out the door in the back. So if that's the administration office and that's the only way to get back here, how did this guy get back here? Ah, thank you. Shine. Yeah, nothing this way. Okay. So I believe there's one more. Nope. I think that was it. And here we are with another dream. Definitely a longer part than most with collecting the loot and getting the dream. Alright, the dream is being revealed. Letters from a weakling. Once there was a woman who came from a foreign land to marry into an old family. Her husband was from a tiny village in the mountains, but he was working in a thriving harbor town abroad when he met and fell in love with her. At the time, he asked her to marry him. His father, in his home country, collapsed and died. Being the eldest son in the family, the young man had no choice but to return to his homeland, taking her with him, of course. Her name was Mina. This was not a name used by the woman of his homeland. Indeed, her name was not the only thing about her that was different. The color of her skin, hair, and eyes, and the language she spoke were all different. Had the young man's hometown been a harbor city where people of many different lands crossed paths, there would have been nothing unusual about this. In such places, there were any number of homes that welcomed foreign men and women into the family generation after generation. But this is about as deep in the country as you can get, the young man told Kime, sighing. On the night he made Mina his wife, Kime had rushed here all the way from the harbor town in the far country to attend the wedding. At the banquet, the young man had given Kime a look, and the two had slipped away from their festivities. They were standing in the garden, looking up at the night sky. When the eldest son marries, His wishes are of no importance. What matters is family. The two families negotiated the engagement, and a bride is chosen who is acceptable to the groom's parents. That's how it was with my parents, and my grandparents did the same. I know what you mean, Gaim said with a nod. Judging from the formal wedding ceremony, it was easy to imagine the highly conservative nature of the area, and just as easy to imagine that the relatives had not welcomed Mina into the family. Alex, Clem said to the young man. Yes? The young man answered, still looking up at the sky. You are the only one who can protect Mina, you know. I know that much, Gaim. Mina's a wonderful girl. I know that too, of course. The three were good friends. Kaim and Alex had worked together offloading ships at the same pier, and also together they had often gone to the neighborhood, where Mina worked in an outdoor stall. Even now, Kaim retains the bittersweet memory of Alex and Mina struggling to communicate in each other's languages. You know, Kaim, Alex said that night under the sky, I think you sensed it too, but Mina was drawn less to me than to... Kaim cut him short. Never mind, he said with a pained smile. Of course, Kaim knew how Mina felt, and if he had responded to her feelings, she and Alex would not have been married today. But Kaim had held back. Instead, he had urged Alex to pursue his love for Mina and help the two come face to face. He felt no regrets about having to play the part of the unlikely Cupid for them. Destined to continue his never-ending journey, Kaim was unable to love Mina in return. One of Alex's uncles stepped out of the house, drunk. Hey, Alex, what are you doing out here? He growled. The groom can't be absent from the reception. Sure, I'll be right there, Alex said. Turning towards his uncle, Kaim tapped him on the shoulder. Make Mina happy, Alex. Leave it to me, he answered with a smile. Come on, said the uncle. Hurry up. The groom's supposed to sit there the whole time. The entire family is here, and we're going to drink the night away. He grabbed Alex's hand and dragged him back into the house. The man was all smiles with Alex, but when he glanced at Kaim, his borderline polite smile could not disguise the gleam of distrust in his eyes for an outsider. Kaim was sure he had noticed that same gleam, though perhaps not as openly displayed in the eyes that alighted on Mina. So that was the kind of village to whom Mina had come as a bride. You better make her happy, Alex, Kaim called out again towards his friend's receding form. I'm counting on you. But now the uncle had his arm around Alex's shoulder, and he was noisily manipulating his nephew's attention. Alex had never heard those words from Kaim. It was 3 months later when Alex came to visit Kaim at work on the pier. I'm in the town buying trips, so I thought I'd stop by and say hello, Alex announced. But, judging from the fatigued evidence on his friend's face, Kaim had a pretty good idea of the real reason for coming here. As casually as possible, Kaim asked, How is Mina doing? With a feeble smile, Alex replied, After the wedding, things happened. Mina had been accepted neither as a member of the family, nor as a resident of the village. There were too many differences in daily customs, in culture, but the one thing that made Mina too different from the tiny village was the brown color of her skin. If only she could speak with people. Mina is trying her best to learn our language, but my mother and the other relatives made no attempt to learn hers. Not so much as a good morning or a thank you. They insist it's up to the daughter-in-law to do all the adapting. Still, Mina was working hard to draw closer to Alex's family and birthplace. She would be the first one out to the fields in the morning, work without a break until the sun went down, and do sewing until late at night. She would try to talk to the people in the local dialects that Alex had taught her, using gestures and body language, and she would apologize profusely with absent smiles whenever she failed to understand what they were saying. Kime could easily imagine Mina going through these exhortations, which made Alex's report all the more painful to him. You should come to visit us now and then, Kime. Mina would love to see you too. Kime responded vaguely with a silent nod. When Alex added, I want you to come and cheer her up, he said nothing in reply. What's wrong, Kime? Are you angry? I'm not going to visit. Why not? You promised me you'd make her happy, remember? We agreed that you're the only one that can do that. But still, sorry. I haven't got the time for this. I've got to get the ship loaded before it sails at sunset. With this curt dismissal, Kime turned away and continued working. Alex stared at him from behind, looking frustrated and confused. Kime could feel his friend's gaze on his back. Because he could feel it, he kept working, without another backward glance. Eventually, Alex gave up and left. Neither man spoke words of farewell. A year after the wedding, Mina gave birth to a son. The boy had brown skin like his mother. He had just started crawling when Alex visited Kime again. There was talk of divorce, Alex said. There's nothing wrong with our relationship. Mina and I love each other, that's for certain. But my mother and the relatives say there is no way they can accept a brown-skinned child as the family heir. His existence supposedly harms the marriage prospects of my young brother and sister, too. So they want us to send the baby to Mina's family. It's gone that far. Alex lost a great deal of weight. He was obviously living in much pain every day, trapped as he was between family and Mina. None of this made sense to Kime. However, trapped Alex might be. As long as he was firm on what was important to him, there could only be one answer to his family's demands, and he should be able to arrive at it without anguish or confusion. I know how strong you are, Alex sighed, speaking to Kime's back as Kime went on, hoisting huge, spine-snapping crates in silence. The longshoremen here were well paid for handling crates on their own, loads that it would take nearly 3 ordinary men to lift. The daily wages was calculated by the number of loads each man lifted, so asking for help would result in a pay cut. For this reason, Kime and the others never complained or asked for help. They would lift even the heaviest loads by themselves. Alex has been like that too. If somebody nearby asked him, "Are you going to be okay with that?" he would be all the more determined to do it on his own. Fine, fine. He would smile, and, gritting his teeth, he would lift the giant load. But Alex was not like that anymore. I'm starting to think that maybe in the long run, tying Mina down to a life in my village is just going to make her unhappy. My relatives say that they'll support Mina and the baby, so it's not as if I'd be abandoning her or chasing her away. It's just that, for both our sakes, starting a new life. Having finished piling crates on the deck, Kime turned towards Alex for the first time. He was looking down at Alex and the pair. Are you alright with that? Huh? If you're trying to convince me it's the right thing, then go ahead and do it. It's not for me to interfere. Alex's features distorted under the impact of Kime's word. Kime said nothing more, but went back to work. His anger and frustration were reaching the boiling point. Alex had no idea that Mina had been writing to Kime on occasion since shortly after the wedding. about the hardships she had been facing in the home of her husband's family. She said not a word. Instead, she would spell out how happy her current life was and declared repeatedly how much Alex loved her. Always the letters would end like this: I'm sure you too must be living happily, kind. This was why Alex's report of the situation at home had filled him with such intense anger and frustration. He had never answered Mina's letters. He felt certain that if he were to write to her, whether with words of encouragement or comfort, or even playing along with her sad lies, something important that gave her spiritual support would snap in two. Come see the baby, Gaim, Alex pleaded. Mina would be thrilled if you do that. Instead of responding to Alex, Kaim called out to him from the deck. See that crate over there? Can you lift it? The crate near Alex was of the same size and weight as the one that Kaim had just loaded onto the ship. In the old days, Alex would not have hesitated to carry it up to the ship, every muscle in his body shuddering. Now, however, Alex gave Kaim one-time glance and, smiling to hide his embarrassment, said, Not me. Kaim said nothing more. He felt strongly that their long friendship had come to an end. Though in fact, for Kaim, whose life would go on through all eternity, it had been nothing more than a momentary acquaintance. Kaim had been on this endless journey ever since. Now and then he thinks back to the bygone days. Both Alex and Mina, long ago, came to dwell among his distant memories. The kind of memories that revive with a deep sense of bitterness, and they are there to this day. Alex made his third trip to see Kaim a year after the baby was born. Having wasted away to a mere shadow of his former self, Alex stared vacantly at Kaim, and his voice lacked all intonation as he announced Mina's death. She had killed herself. Hanged herself in the barn. Kaim was amazed at his own detachment as he took in Alex's words. Mina's letters had stopped coming several months earlier. Either she no longer needed to spin those sad little lies about being accepted by Alex's family and the townsfolk, or she had lost the strength to invent them anymore. In effect, it was the latter, Kaim was learning now. To the very end, she could not make anyone accept her. My mother, my family, nor the town, Alex said tearfully. She was all alone. Finally, to the very end, without a word, Kaim punched Alex in the face. Alex seemed to know and accept the fact that the punch would be coming. He did nothing to resist or defend himself. The first hit him full on and sent him sprawling in the road. Why? Kaim demanded to know. Why did you say she was all alone? And when Alex righted himself, he smashed him in the face again. Alex began coughing violently and uncontrollably, and when he spat up a glob of blood, a broken back tooth came out with it. Kaim knew well enough that Alex had been suffering, too, that he had been engaged in a desperate struggle to do something about being trapped between family and wife. Otherwise, he would have never wasted away so dramatically from the brawny young man he used to be. As well as he knew this, however, Kaim could not forgive him. He had promised. He had given his word. He would make Mina happy. He would protect her. Kaim could never forgive Alex for failing to make good on his oath. Wiping the blood from his mouth with the back of his hand, Alex dragged himself to the feet. I know how strong you are, he said to Kaim, as he had once before, but this time his words took on a sadder tone. But let me tell you this, Kaim. My mother and my relatives and the others, their way of looking at things is not completely crazy. To live in peace and quiet in the country, You have to follow this country's special rules. It just so happens that one of those rules was not to accept a bride like Mina. I was born and raised in that village, and I know the village code, know it all too well, which is why I've been in such pain all these months. I'm a weakling, I suppose. In your eyes, I'm probably so weak, you want to spit on me. So laugh at me, hit me, despise me if you want to. Come on, hit me again. Alex thrust his face at Kime for more punishment, and Kime threw another punch. This one landed squarely on his nose. It may have broken it. Alex crumbled to his knees. The blood that gushed from his nose was blacker than the blood from his mouth. Alex looked up at Kime with a smile of self-deration. Mina should have been with you. That's what I think. If she had married you and not some weakling like me, she'd be alive. With a wordless, straggled cry of rage, Kime lunged at Alex, grabbing him by the collar and hoisting him to his feet. Another punch, and still another. Kime was not planning to stop punching Alex. Now, though, with Kime's hand fastened to the front of his shirt, Alex looked straight at Kime for the first time since coming to the dark. Why didn't you ever answer Mina's letters? That's all she was hoping for. A letter from you. So he knew. Alex knew everything. It's terrible out there in the country. Anybody who wants to can find out who wrote letters and who got them. Everybody out there is like family. Everybody but Mina, that is. If Alex has wanted to, he could have squashed Mina's letters easily. Then, not one of her sad little lies would have reached Kime. But instead, Alex had read the letters, resealed the envelopes, and sent them to Kime one after another. He had internalized Mina's sad little lies and started looking for Kime's answers even before she did. Kime stopped his fist in midair and asked, "How could I possibly answer her?" "Why not?" Alex retorted. "You know how trapped she was feeling. You must have known how much encouragement one word from you could have given her. But you were Mina's husband." "Yes, that's true, but you were always the one deepest in her heart. I knew that, and because I knew it, there was only one thing I could do. No, that couldn't be." Astounded, Kime lowered his fist as Alex said to him, "I wrote to her. I pretended I was you, and I wrote her letter after letter. Be strong, I told her. Keep your spirits up. I'll come to see you. You're too strong, Kime, so you can't understand the feelings of weak people. But I don't have that problem. I'm weak. I understand how a weakling like Mina felt." Alex cried, the blood streaming from nose and mouth. "There's one thing I don't know, though, Kime. I don't know whether Mina actually believed the letters I wrote were from you, or whether she knew what I was doing and pretended to believe. I wonder, was life in my village so painful to her that she couldn't go on living without pretending to believe?" Kime made no attempt to answer Alex's question. Slowly, he let the strength go out of his clenched fist and released his grip on Alex's shirt. Alex drew a step back from him, then took another step, putting distance between them, before his final revelation. "There was one letter, just one, that I didn't send to you. That was 3 months ago. It was the first letter in which Mina begged you for help. She said she wanted to run away and asked you to come save her as soon as possible, to rescue her and the baby." That was the letter Alex threw away. Posing as Kime, he wrote two-word answer, "Be strong." The day after she read the letter from Alex, Mina hanged herself in the barn. Kime stood, rooted to the spot, crestfallen. This left him momentarily defenseless. Alex shot his fist at Kime's solar plexus. Though his feeble blow could hardly be called a punch, the pain it inflicted might have been greater for Alex's own fist than for Kime's superbly conditioned muscles. What an idiot I was. Be strong? Such words might have meant something to somebody like you, but to burden a weak person like Mina with them? No, they could only break and crush her. Alex gave another tearful, self-despairing smile and thrust his face towards Kimes. So hit me. I don't give a damn. Hit me all you want. Beat the hell out of me. But let me ask you this, Kime. If I had sent her last letter to you, would you have finally answered that one? Would you have been able to accept Mina in all her weakness? Kime did not know how to answer this question, nor did he raise a clenched fist to Alex again. So ended the story of Kime and Alex. Alex turned and walked away, but Kime could not bring himself to call out to him. He simply stood there and drained of all emotion and watched him go. Alex did, however, turn to face Kime again when he put enough distance between them so that Kime could barely make out his voice. I can tell you this much, Kime, he shouted. I'm going to raise that boy of mine. I'll make him into a man of my village. I may have been too weak to be a husband, but as a father, I'll do better. I'll make him happy. Kime returned his words with a silent nod. Alex allowed the hint of a smile to show on his badly swollen face. Then he turned on his heels once more and strode away. Kime never saw Alex again. Every now and then, Kime remembers Alex and Mina as he proceeds on his endless long journey. When he thinks back on what he himself was like in those days, wanting only to be strong in all things, the memory is a bitter one. If only he had been the person he is today, the present-day Kime would not have rejected such human weakness. Now he can accept the fact, sometimes with a pained smile, sometimes with genuine heartbreak, that everyone is weak. If only he could begin his journey again, Mina might not have had to die. But this is no more than a hopeless dream. He meets them only once, and they are gone forever. The mortals, the humans, the ones without eternal life. This is what makes them all the more dear to him. This is what makes his breast burn for them. Aware now that he has failed to love human weakness throughout his battles and his wandering, Kime turns his step towards Alex's old village. Alex himself, of course, is long since dead, but Alex's descendants he can tell at a glance. They have brown skin. Brown-skinned youths are the ones in charge of the village festival. Brown-skinned old women teach girls how to weave floral decoration. Brown-skinned children and those who are not brown play together in all innocence, free of care. Perhaps this can comprise a tiny epilogue to the story of Alex, Kime, and Mina. The graves of Alex and Mina lay side by side atop a low, windswept hill. Kime picks flowers from the field and offers them at the doomed couple's graves before returning to the road. What is human strength, after all? Kime still doesn't know the answer to this question, and this is why, again, today, his journey must go on. Whew, that one hit personally. Wow. I don't have anything to say to that one, other than that's really amazing. I don't remember many of these dreams, so rereading them again, and especially that one, man,